my things froze for a second there. I'm Mavirella.
I'm
How's
Yukina Cosplay.
And I'm CJ Peterson. Welcome to Magic Making Mischief. We were at a special time tonight because of an extra special guest, Keith Coogan. Yay!
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me on.
But
Appreciate
before
it.
we get there, everybody get your wands to the ready
Okay.
because we solemnly swear we're up to no good. And like I said, today we have special guest Keith Coogan. We've already got a couple comments going on already before we even started their comments. Larry the
Yes.
Ride is here.
They are who is
He
Keith
said-
Coogan? What is Keith who? What?
Who-
Keith Coogan.
What did he do?
What happened to that babysitter?
So excited, I can't wait. And
The
then he
babysitter either
also
sang the
said,
blues or they're
question-
dead, depending on which movie you saw.
He also said,
I don't do
"Question, how
well
is
with
the leadership?"
babysitters.
There you go. That's
Or
yeah.
dishes.
And you did 2 of them, didn't you?
3 if you
Adventures of
count the Don't
Babysitting?
Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead remake that just came out this year. I have a cameo in
Ah,
that, so
I didn't
technically
like
I
that.
completed my
goodness.
Babysitter trilogy.
Queen Marissa
That's
says hi. Jeremy says hello, everyone. Geek Cred Trivia says
Hey.
hola, y'all.
Yay, you made it.
Hola.
Hola. We're super excited.
Buenas noches.
So welcome to the
Yes.
chaos.
Thank you
that
very
is
much.
Magic Making Mischief. We're super excited
How
about you.
do you guys seem like great friends? You have fun, but you're in different cities. Do you all meet at conventions? Do you see each other? Or
What?
When we can. When
We
we can.
originally met at conventions, and we like to try to meet up whenever we get the chance. Yukina and me are actually the closest at this point because we're both in the Houston area, so we're not too far. So we actually got to meet Keith last year at NerdCon, and that was really awesome because that's what I've got up here. I've got my plate
Got
that
the
he
plate,
autographed
got the
for me.
plate.
So I gotta show it out.
yeah, NerdCon.
And if you know, if you don't know,
These
I
are the
mean, rather
dishes.
the don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. This is the quote from that one. The dishes are done, dude. And the dishes, I always said dude, but it's man. The dishes are done, man. I always misquoted that line, like for years, I think. We always said it the other way. Till I got that, and then I'm like, wait, now I gotta rewatch it. Okay.
John Watson says hello.
Hey, John. Hey.
So many questions. I'm an 80s kid. So I think I'm just a couple years younger than you actually. So going through all the movies and stuff, and I'm just like a little bit geeked out right now, but that's okay. So how did you get started?
I got started in commercials. I was a stand-in on a McDonald's commercial, and the director, Denny Harris. The other kid had to go off to school or something, and so I'm standing under the lights and getting the tray of the food at the counter, and my eyes lit up like, oh, McDonald's. I didn't get a lot of McDonald's as a kid. And the director wanted to use me in the commercial. And the other stage mom was like, no, no, no. You hired my kid. And that's true. So he said, I'm going to use you again. And I wound up not getting paid because it wasn't union yet. And my mom had asked around, how do we get paid? Oh, you need an agent. You need to go union. How do you go union? Well, you need to get a job. How do you get a job? You need an agent. How do you get an agent? You need to be union and have work. Well, I don't understand. So somewhere you got to get in there.
Vicious cycle.
So like that, you've got to have experience to get a job, but you got to get a job to have experience.
Experience.
Kind of
See,
chain
April
reaction.
Catch 22.
Exactly. And so she stuck me in front of a kid agent, Don Schwartz, Sunset Boulevard, and a page of copy, a Texaco commercial or something. And I could read really well, and so I had read it real quick. And he goes, "Does he need a minute?" And I'm like, "I got it, learned it." And he's very excited to get me out. Understood my grandfather was Jackie Coogan. He was very excited about, I can't wait to tell people I got Jackie Coogan's grandson. And my mother, Jack's daughter, said, oh no, he's not going to use the Coogan name because she knew that Nepo babies could get a backlash decades later. So, so I'm a Nepo baby that didn't get to enjoy any of the upside. So I just I went in as Keith Mitchell, and I think I was a extra in a Coast soap commercial. My left shoulder was on TV. Very excited because I'm,
Oh my
getting
goodness.
paid. And then Denny Harris called back, and I did 4 McDonald's commercials, like a series of them. Wound up doing many over the years. One of the first Shamrock Shake commercials, and the last commercial I did in '86 was a McDonald's commercial, back to school, where the kids are all excited about going back to school, but it's a bad day. The drinking
Oh my
fountain
goodness.
hits you in the face, and the bullies, and you drop your books.
I played all the time.
But I played for years. Every September, it would play. And I was a kid with the Robin Williams suspenders. Of course I was. So I started doing a lot of commercials, Kool-Aid, Cool Whip, a lot of breakfast cereals. And I'm going up for episodics, and I book Chips. I'm just supposed to be a friend of one of the kids that's along for a camping trip, and they leave the baby at a rest stop, and the mom thinks his dad has it. That I don't even have lines, but there's a scene where they're like improv, and I start yammering and cracking up the director, and he starts grabbing lines from the other kids and giving them to me. And now I've like stolen the show. I wound up doing 4 episodes of Chips over the years. One
Nice.
first season, somewhere mid-season with Caitlyn Jenner, and then 2 in the last season. They tried to spin it off into mini Chips. It was the Brat Patrol. We were dressed like Chips and a bunch of odd kids. They did 2, and I did the last episode of Chips, the Return of the Brat Patrol.
I actually
and then-
remember something about that. Oh my goodness.
And I did episodics like 8 is Enough, and It's a Living, Night Rider, Love Boat, Fantasy Island. Which one? Laverne and Shirley, Mork and Mindy.
I know.
Oh, you guys
And,
actually work with Robin
Oh.
Williams? Oh,
I did. I did the
Oh.
last
he's one of my
episode of
favorites.
Mork and Mindy. Got to Run Part 3.
Oh.
Very sad.
Nice.
They knew they weren't getting picked up, so it was kind of somber on set.
We've got some questions going, and they're going some, but I'm trying
All
not to
right.
cut you off.
Let's do it.
So, Art of the
Oh.
Ride is asked twice now. How cool is Elizabeth's shoe?
Elizabeth's shoe is very cool, and it's with an S, Elizabeth. And because first day of
Oh.
shooting, she goes, well, it's Elizabeth with an S, so all the cool kids call me Lisa. So for the whole movie, me and Anthony Rapp and Maya Broom were like, Lisa this, Lisa that, because it was kind of in. She's just super cool. She was years older than me, and I'm that freshman with a crush on a senior, and it was very,
Of
it was
course.
very true. There was no acting. I had a huge crush on Elizabeth Shue.
Who didn't?
John Watson wants to know what it's like working with Christina Applegate.
Okay, so like working
Oh
with
my
your
goodness.
sister who's smarter and gets better grades and does extracurriculars and is on the cheer team and student council, and you're like barely pulling B's.
So
And you just
overachiever.
watch- you
Got
get
it.
to
I
watch
love
them
that she's like
every
your
day.
sister, but Elizabeth Shue is like the.
Is
Yes,
the
that's-
idol.
I love that.
So yeah, and Christina, I was friends with Christina prior to making the movie, and she's just one of the most ultimate pros, and she's very good with comedy. She had to be the straight man, and I was just thinking of this today, that she's the great pitcher for setting up a nice home run of a joke. She will throw you the best setup, and she did it over and over again in that movie. And she's absolutely she doesn't. Usually, you want to tag the scene or put a pin in the end of the scene, and she just sets you up so that you can do that. And most actors want to kind of take that. Ooh, lost my mic. Hold on.
That's actually pretty cool of her.
Are we
Very
there?
cool.
It's nice when you can
Yeah,
work
can you
together
hear
like
us?
that.
Oh
Can you hear
yeah,
us?
Do you hear us?
it
Okay.
was. Yeah, I can
So
hear
that's
you guys
actually
good.
really cool of her.
Yeah, it was fun. We would yeah, she's a total leader on the set, always incredibly prepared. And being the lead in a movie, camera's always on you, everything's written around that you don't have to really do much. It's possible to do too much, and it's I consider the movie kind of camp, kind of a farce, a little broader comedy than Adventures of Babysitting, but super fun to shoot. Don't Tell Mom was like a big party.
Ah,
So Geek Cred once he said it's funny how some celebs become associated with certain objects to sign. Stephen Root with red staplers and Keith with dishes. And then Jeff Elmore, as you were rattling off your shows, he said all the great shows. So my one question is, my number one person, which I actually got to meet when I turned 50, was Sean Astin. What was it like working with Sean Astin? My number 2 was
Yeah.
Will Wheaton, and you got
sure.
both of them in the same movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh my goodness.
Toy
Sean
Story.
is
Toy
is
Soldiers.
family because his father and my grandfather did Adam's Family together, and
Oh, no
so I've known
way.
Sean since growing up. Yes.
Uh,
So yeah, John Aston is Gomez, and Jackie Coogan was Uncle Fester in
Huh.
the 1964, the original
The original
TV show
series.
version.
Oh my goodness.
Did
why are
not
you
So
know
I knew
so
that.
Sean
cool?
and
Okay.
Mackenzie
I know,
and
right?
Patty Duke.
That's crazy.
Stop.
I didn't make
So
that
cool.
connection.
No, you were too cool.
See, I think
No,
when
not
I
at
think
all. I
Jackie
was a big
Coogan, I'm
geek.
thinking he was the kid, right? Like your grandfather was the kid with Charlie Chaplin.
Yes.
Not well, I mean Charlie Chaplin was the kid, but I mean like he was the kid in the kid. If that makes sense. The
Oh,
Charlie
God.
Chaplin movie, the kid, he was
Correct.
the kid in the
Oh,
movie.
okay. Got it.
There we go.
I'm like,
Okay. Trying to explain that is really a lot of
The lady with math
confusion
floating
there.
around her.
Yes.
yeah.
It's like I see it in my head. How do I make this make sense out loud?
It's like, how do I pull these objects down and make them into a sentence?
How'd you think?
That's so he was also
Adjective, verb.
Uncle Fester. Oh, that's
Here we
crazy.
go.
That's so cool. I didn't realize it was the same person. I love hearing things like that. See, that's the kind of trivia that our
Jer-
friend
Jer-
Geek Cred Trivia in there looks out for.
Jeremy says the geeks are the cool ones now. Yes,
Oh,
Jeremy.
Yes,
Has to share the
Always.
love.
we rule the world.
I mean, we always were. They just can't handle us. That's it.
I know, right?
wow.
And now
I
we're
was
the
a
ones
nerd,
running the
nerd,
show. So
nerd,
it's good.
nerd, band nerd, theater nerd. Always loved movies, video games, yeah, graphic novels. I didn't really read comic books. Ooh. Um,
Rebellious.
and I read that the nerds have won because everything's comic book movies, superheroes.
Mhm.
Video games make more money than movies do. The top earners in the country are Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and Zuckerberg,
Right.
and so they're all nerds. They're all tech companies, computer
Mm-hmm.
geeks, and we won.
Right.
Definitely. I don't know who this is, but
Uh-oh.
he
Oh, it's
got
John Watson.
yeah. Who's John Aston? I don't know who that
Yeah.
is.
Oh yeah, of
Oh,
course.
Did you ever
Oh,
meet John Aston? I don't
You
know.
don't know who John
absolutely.
Aston is? Oh,
I thought it was a
absolutely. I got to
typo
visit
for
the
John
set
Aston.
of.
So yeah.
I got to visit
Sean
the set
Aston.
No,
of the
John
Adams
Oh,
Aston.
John Aston.
Family
Oh, really?
John.
holiday
J-O-H-N.
special
okay.
shot in 1977, and it was shot on video. All of the original cast members were still alive, but we know John. I've been to his
Oh, his grandfather.
Nam Yoho Renge Kyo meetings, and he's still teaching and does his one man Edgar Allan Poe shows where he'll read.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Raven, and he's a remarkable man, and he knew my grandfather really well. Me and John were the only ones that eulogize my grandfather at the gravesite at Holy Cross
Oh,
down
cool.
in L.A. by the airport, and I just cried my eyes out through my speech in the casket, and John did a wonderful job. So
Aw.
yeah, I love him very much.
So go ahead.
Oh no, I was just looking at it because I'm like, okay, wait, because I didn't realize that he was actually still with us.
Yeah,
Because he was the
yeah,
original
John is
Gomez,
still.
and like he's
Yeah.
like 94, and he's actually still out there active. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh, he needs to go back on my list. Oh my gosh, I've got like a list of 10 that I think I'll never meet. And
The
I-
Holy Grails.
yes,
Like mine's Richard Dean Anderson is my like number one Holy Grail.
he goes.
Patrick
He's gonna go right next to
Stewart,
Dick Van Dyke
all
on
sorts
there.
of fun
Okay.
stuff. So not many people
So and like
realize
Will
this maybe.
Wheaton, I've worked
Will
with Dick
Wheaton's my
Van
number
Dyke
2.
3 times. So Will Wheaton was Python, Toy Soldiers, and an episode of Tales from the Crypt. Dick Van Dyke was Super Train, the kid with the broken halo, and what else did I do? Oh, Diagnosis Murder.
Oh,
You got Diagnosis Murder?
Yes, with Leah Remini.
oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Yeah, I
You've
tried
done
to
so much
kill her. It's
iconic
great.
stuff. Oh
I
my
know.
gosh.
It's like
You have like the best lineup like ever.
I know.
I'm still stuck on Small Soldiers because that's what I grew up watching. So I'm like, wait a minute, you were in Small Soldiers? Who
No,
were you?
Toy Soldiers.
Toy Soldiers.
Toy
Either way, I've
Soldiers.
seen both of them.
Movie.
Yes.
Toy Soldiers.
Right.
So I'm Snuffy, asthmatic, who's allergic to everything, sneezes, does bits with cigarettes and coffee.
Oh my
and
gosh, I do remember you now.
knows the rules about pretending you're asleep while your roommate beats off, that kind of stuff. Could we change the subject so I can go to the bed without wetting my pants? He's the first one, they point a gun at him, he just raises his arms. He's total chicken. And I love him. He's subversive, he'll wait till the terrorist's backs are turned and then he'll spit, but they don't see that. You know,
Yeah.
he tries to act brave in front of his friends, but he's not brave at all.
But he kind of saved the day though with the inhaler stuff when
We all have our little bit to play. He's proud
Everybody
of
has
that. He does a little distraction and he goes and asks for like a total thank you from all. He's like, thank you. Thank you. He has no humility. I
That's
love
okay.
Snuffy. I portrayed him as rich white trash.
Appropriate.
Yes.
Not many people know though that you were actually a voice actor as well.
One job, but
Still,
what
that
a
counts.
credit.
You're a voice actor.
It does
What a
count.
credit.
That's all it
Despite
takes.
But I mean
auditioning
that's
for
an epic one. I didn't know that one either until you told me last year when we met you.
Fox in the
The-
Hound.
The Fox
Yeah.
and the Hound. If y'all don't know, he was young Todd in the Fox and the
was
Hound. And like
Todd.
that was like one of the most
Oh,
emotional Disney
you.
movies of all time. And I think like I would just like skip the end as I got like to where I would hit the VHS tape and I'd be like watch the fun parts when they're young and then I'm like, and done. End of movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, we're not releasing that Fox, okay? He's just no. Mm-mm.
John
Oh
Watson
my
says,
Nope.
I see John Aston play Buddy in
Night
Court.
Courts.
Mhm. And then
Ooh.
Jeff
Fox was
Elmore says the
awesome.
Fox was awesome.
The fox was my favorite, and definitely the reason why I want a pet fox still later in life. Like
Oh my
I want a
gosh.
pet fox.
I want both. I always just wanted both, okay? I want a hound dog and I want a fox.
He said John Aston was also the
I
Riddler.
want- Wait, what? I
He
don't know
tried-
that one.
in
Did
the
you
original
try to
But
trivia
he
Batman
would
series?
know.
series.
John
If
Aston
anybody
was
would
awesome.
know,
He would know, but
he would know because he's our trivia man right there. Not that you know.
That was Burgess
You'll have to prove
Meredith.
it.
No, Burgess Meredith was Penguin. Yeah, I get
Are you
Of course.
talking voice acting or are we talking? What are we
No,
talking?
I
You're gonna
don't.
have to
yeah,
give us some
Geek Fred,
evidence
which
there.
one
Yeah, I
is
don't
that?
know,
You got to
man.
give us
That's-
some context.
Yeah,
It's a good
give
one.
us some context
I'm
on
gonna
that
need
one.
you to
Closest
cite
we
your
got was
source.
Lurch was in the window gag in the original Batman series. They saw Lurch sticking out.
He said Alan West's Batman. Oh, that's ancient.
Oh, the one where
Oh,
they
that's
did that.
old.
That guy. The one who did
Huh?
this.
The old,
The Bat
Okay,
Tuesday.
so that-
OG Batman.
Yes,
Adam
the one
West.
with the poorly drawn in eyebrows. Yes, that guy.
Okay. Okay. Really?
Wow.
Okay. There. Now that's good trivia right there too. I knew it
He
was
really
coming.
knows his stuff, y'all. He knows his stuff.
For real.
He
Okay.
does.
So I have a question. Do you have any like fun stories from any of the movies that we probably know you the best from behind the scenes stuff that you can that are family friendly at least?
Family friendly.
Family friendly, please.
Wow. It took a
Put
while to
somebody in
get
limit.
a superhero for Adventures in Babysitting. Originally it was going to be He-Man, and
Oh.
the director Chris Columbus is like, this is a toy to. They have a cartoon that sells the toy, and I'm not sure He-Man's it. So they looked for superheroes, and they looked around, and they got to Marvel, and they got to Thor. And
Oh.
they said, you can have Thor. No one's doing anything with Thor. And
wow.
Marvel is on the poster. It is in the credits. And Vincent D'Onofrio as Thor, that's his first entrance into the MCU. And now he's Kingpin. And he was kind of method and just was very serious with us all day. And he's great. He was just 6 months off of Full Metal Jacket, where he lost the weight and used some makeup tricks and baby oil and lighting to give his
It was the 80s,
his stomach some
baby oil was
definition.
like,
Yeah,
Physique. We'll just call it a physique. Go ahead.
somebody had to grease up Vincent D'Onofrio and then light up steam and his little Thor hammer, and it's adorable. It's adorable.
every
He
it
is
was like
Thor.
watching Labyrinth. Every little girl watching that movie all of a sudden it's like,
Oh,
oh my gosh. Mom, I need a helmet with wings and skates now.
My goodness.
That little
Oh
girl
my
was
gosh.
cute though.
Oh, yeah, she's
there
actually
was
going
an
to be at NerdCon
opening
this year.
sequence of Sarah and her skates whizzing down the street, dodging in and out of cars, jumping curbs, and that was going to be used later in the movie with the chase and the bad guys chasing Sarah's toy box had been confused with a box of plutonium, and they chased them onto a bridge over the Chicago River. And someone said, "Did you see the end of Annie?" And they're like, "By John Huston." Oh yeah, there's a chase on a bridge. Okay, and they rewrote the ending, and
Aw.
they took that out as being, there's the shot of her wearing her skates in the house. That's about it.
Mm.
Aw. Anticlimactic,
But
but
the
not
skates
as
came in
Real.
handy
not copying
when
either. So.
they had a continuity error. So originally,
Oh.
Sarah was supposed to leave her backpack in the Jeep when the frat guy rescues them and takes them to get the car.
Uh,
We'd shot a
she
scene
did.
that took place after the Jeep, and the
She
backpack was in
started
the
that.
scene. And Sue Richards,
Oh.
script supervisor, goes, we have a problem. We are supposed to have lost the backpack, but we have it in the shot. So they said, what if her skate had fallen out of the bag, and on the skate was, if lost, return to. That's how he knows to show up at her house, and it worked out. And the backpack is a Gremlins backpack, which was written by Chris Columbus, the director of Adventures of Babysitter.
Oh,
This
Wow,
guy
it
that's,
all
Easter
ties
egg.
in
That's
together.
nice.
oh,
And
that's
Phoebe
nice.
Cates screen tested for The Babysitter.
Did she
And
really?
so did Valerie Bertinelli. Yep.
Oh.
Valerie.
Yep. I sat there and watched many actresses audition for The Babysitter, and then we
You're
did
probably
mix and
sitting there
matches.
like,
And it was great.
best
I was
seat in
rooting
the
for
house.
Phoebe. I love Elizabeth
That's
Shue,
amazing.
but I had seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High, so I was like, let's go Phoebe. It paid off at the Oscars. She let me hold Kevin Kline's Oscar. He just won for Fish Called Wanda, so she's
Oh.
very sweet.
Very cool.
Oh, that was awesome.
So John wants to know what celebrity was the hardest to work with. My question is also who was your favorite to work with?
Wow, celebrity hardest to work with. Wow, that's tough.
That gets to be a tricky question too. So.
Yeah, because it's kind
I'm
of
not going to throw. I mean, Corey Haim is great on the set. It's when the cameras aren't rolling, he's a nightmare. I love Corey, but you just want to strangle him sometimes. Love you. Rest in peace, Corey. Love you, brother.
I was gonna say.
Please.
Sally Kirkland was challenging for me because I hadn't worked with someone who never does the same scene twice, never does the blocking the same way. They just had to shoot the
Oh,
scenes like kind of wide and one take because she never did it the same way. She's always present in the moment, so much so that forget the script. And I felt like I was in danger at times with
Oh
her.
my
Oh goodness.
goodness.
But she's playing a very predatory talent agent. And I've also worked with actresses that people said have been challenging, but they turned out to be dreams, like Sean Young, Shannon Doherty. Beautiful, wonderful professionals. Um, and so people always ask who's the worst, who's the biggest jerk, and I say, well, you have options to work with a lot of people in this industry, and uh, it has a way of working itself out
mhm.
that people don't tend to, you just kind of work around them, and maybe you don't hire them for the next job or the next season or whatever. And so um, there aren't a lot of jerks in the industry, honestly.
So who's your favorite one that you've worked with?
Oh God, I can't. Favorite to work with John Cryer is
Oh, that
amazing.
would be a good one.
Oh, wow.
Um,
How
Have you
about
ever
your
been
top five? How
starstruck
about top
by?
five? That way you've got some to work with.
There you go. Gives a good
Top five.
balance.
Lloyd Bridges on Cousins was a phenomenal
Nice.
to work with.
Nice.
Old pro. Everybody you learn from. It's really fun working with your peers when you're competing and then you wind up in something together. That's always fun. You get to kind of toss the ball back and forth.
John Jeff Elmore wants to know: have you worked with Pauly Shore in anything other than in Army Now?
No. I did stage manage his father, Sammy Shore's one man show. I've known Pauly for years. Andy Dick was in my Second City class when it was first on the West Coast in Santa Monica. And the director of In the Army Now directed Toy Soldiers. So that's how I wound up on it. And Pauly, I'm even wearing a wig that looks like Pauly Shore's wig. What's funny is, here goes a weird connection back to Sean Astin. And they were doing the Encino Man, and it was called something else. And they were Les Mayfield, who had been an archivist for Spielberg, and him and George Zaloom, Mayfield Zaloom, ZM Entertainment, they were doing this movie, Encino Man, and they wanted to do a director's test. One day, 2 scenes, just something to show the studio to pitch the whole movie.
Mhm.
And I was never up for the role. I was, my schedule, I was doing other projects, but I could do this one day. And it was cash, $500, literally. Go in, shoot this as a favor. And of course, I'd love to work with the director sometime. So it was me, my buddy Jeff Maynard from high school, but he was also in tons of stuff. Look up Jeff Maynard. He was in Neil Simon Plays, then wound up as on TV in movies like She's Gotta Have It with Amy Dolenz. Great film. No, wait, what was it called? The one where she's turning 16, Daddy's little girl. I can't remember that. Where the hell was I? Heck, where the heck was I? Wow, that's bad. So funny. I did Toy Soldiers, and I got letters from a church group, and they said, "Why
Oh,
did you have to curse so much in the movie?"
oh,
And I said, "Well,
it was in
I
the script.
appreciate you took the group to an R-rated movie. However,
That part.
Was that
it's
rated R? Oh, I
it's
forgot
just
about
yes,
that.
it was a hard R for the violence
Okay.
and language.
It was pretty violent.
Yeah. And the rating
Uh,
system was kind of in shift at some point in there too, because
It did. Hey, I was in.
introduced PG-13 in that time. So
Yep. Yep.
John Watson wants to know: is there any celebrity you have never worked with yet, but want to?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to work with Russell Crowe. That would be a blast. I'd love to work with Jim Carrey, or there's a lot of great directors.
Ooh, I could see you doing that. That would be funny.
Hmm.
Jim Carrey. Yeah. I could see y'all meshing well.
Love to be on the morning show with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon and Billy Crudup and Greta Lee and Tig Notaro. And hi, guys. Hi. Put me on a morning show.
Oh, here's a question that someone actually asked me right before we came on. Do you have any events coming up that you're doing appearances at?
Yes. This Sunday at the Frida Cinema in Santa Ana, a screening at 4 o'clock of Don't Tell Mom, the Babysitter's Dead. And I'll be doing a Q&A after and a merch table
Nice.
with brand new merch. We have a vinyl colored album of the soundtrack, and it's this great gatefold with the babysitter inside. And you open
Oh,
up,
wow.
look inside, and it says, "Nice old lady inside died of natural causes," and it's great. The side A is Mama Celeste face up, and side B is Mama Celeste face down. We'll have those.
Oh,
We'll have
my
dishes to
goodness.
sign. We're also going to be going to conventions in Ohio, also here in LA, the Hollywood Show, which is a great event, and Florida convention later in the year.
Very cool.
Awesome.
So really quick, a few minutes left. Do you have any advice for anybody who wants to get into acting?
Oh yeah, go for it. Try it. Wherever you are, it's cheaper to join SAG in local unions in other states. So, and then you bump up if you ever work in LA. So do industrials and print and plays. Black box theater doesn't cost anything to produce, and someone could see your work. A lot of people have been discovered doing theater, and then someone said, "I want to talk to them after the show," and they're signed the next day with management or an agent. I've seen it happen several times. That's definitely a way in. Be doing the work.
There are 2 more quick questions, and then
Yeah.
that's going to be it, guys, because we're going to be overtime. If you could voice act again in any franchise, what would you want? What would you pick?
Oh, definitely continue. They'll do the live action Fox and the Hound, and if I don't play the older Fox, I'm gonna riot.
You should.
Yes.
You
And
absolutely should.
the other
Yes.
question is, would you do a movie with Keanu Reeves?
Would I do a
Cool.
movie with Keanu Reeves? But that's a ridiculous question.
Yeah,
Not only
who
is he
Like, who
wouldn't
rumored
wouldn't?
do
to
with
be the
Keanu Reeves,
nicest,
right?
most generous,
Who wouldn't?
sensitive man, he's also incredibly disciplined and focused. I would learn a lot working with Keanu.
Very cool. So, guys, next week we have
And
Joshua
I
Passmore.
supported Keanu at the premiere of Bill and Ted.
Excellent
Oh,
adventure.
Excellent.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. And
Most
that was
excellent.
they did a whole MTV thing, and Keanu was great. He's
Very cool.
Love.
So next week we have Josh Passmore, voice actor. So Keith, thank you so much for coming on. We greatly appreciate
Yes.
you giving
thank
us
you
the
guys.
time
Oh,
to
thank you everybody.
join
Thanks
us.
for the questions, everybody. Thanks for watching.
If you guys want to learn more about him, he can go to his website, which is keithcooganonline.com. That's KEITHCOOGANONLINE.com for those who are listening. So check it out. Cool site, lots of information.
That's very
.com.
That's very
Keith,
cool.
thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate it again for your time.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
it's
You
okay.
said this was going to be trouble, and it was fine. It was fine. All right, wands up.
Yep, we are chaotic, but not trouble.
Yes.
So get your wands to the ready. Mombi, take us out.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and so many great questions tonight. Love it. If you haven't had a chance to yet, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to CJ Peterson on YouTube, Mombirella on YouTube, and Yukita Cosplay on Instagram. And do we have anything coming up soon? I know I have.
Yeah, go watch Team of Two on Amazon. It just dropped 2 weeks ago. Buddy cop movie, but it's fantastic. I steal the show. Yeah.
Awesome.
Of course, as you
And
should.
I'm so
we
humble.
have Anime Houston coming up in about a week and a half. Anime Houston is coming up this September, so y'all keep an eye out for that. All right. Till next time, mischief managed.